Welcome everybody to a Morning Wood podcast. I'm Dom, and it's a little bit different scenery here. Um, Currently the our normal room is a little occupied, so we're in my bedroom today. The mic's here on my desk, and yeah, so should be interesting. I don't really have a desk with me, so I'm just got the notepad on my lap. We move, we go on. Still gonna bring the podcast every single week. So, um, and it's just I know we said back to normal for this week, but it's just a bunch of things going on. So it's hard to do it this week. So this week it's like this, and then um next week hopefully back to normal. So and hopefully Dale's here next time. So we'll see. Um, because he's out of town again on work. So yeah. But yeah, as per usual, college football, NFL recap, NFL predictions, fantasy, football and hockey, and then your hockey update. So yeah, let's start off with college football from last week. Or not Dolphins, Hurricanes beating Stanford 42-7. Now, the start of the game, actually the first half was actually really slow. It was a lot of back and forth. I think the ending score was 7-7 going into halftime, and must have been a pretty good halftime speech because we came out and started scoring heavy, and yeah, Carson Beck really didn't look all that too well throughout the game. He did though have a good completion percentage. He went 21 for 28, 189 yards and a touchdown, no interceptions. But he did struggle a little bit, for sure. And then we had Emery Williams come in at the end, 1 for 2, 16 yards. Hopefully, I think he'll end up being our starter next year, so be able to look out for that. Um, Player of the game, Mark Fletcher, 23 carries, 106 yards, 4.6 yards a carry, and 3 touchdowns. He had a hat trick. Um, Good for him. Our leading receiver, Tony Johnson. I don't know. 3 receptions, 69 yards. Good for him, I guess. Um, and for defense, our leader on defense was Keontae Scott. 5 tackles, 4 of them being solo. Yeah. So that was pretty much it for the game. Stanford did play really well in the first half. So, good for them on that. It was an in-conference game, which, the Hurricanes really need to start winning, especially to try and make the playoff, or not the playoffs, the championship, the ACC championship game. And, like I said, to try and make the playoffs. So it's going to be interesting to see about that. But like I said, Stanford played a really good game. Now for this week in college football, we have, let me go here. So Hurricanes from the loss against Louisville dropped to number 9. Even though we beat Stanford 42-7, we did end up dropping to 10 because of other teams that won and lost. And because, the first half could have gone either way. The first half of the game was really bad for us. So, yeah, I think that went into a little bit of consideration. So we dropped to 10. No big deal. We're still in the top 10. We're still slated to be in the playoffs. So this week, number 10 Miami is going against, like I said, conference rivals, SMU. They were in the conference championship or pretty close to the conference championship last year. I think it was SMU versus Clemson last year in the conference championship, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, SMU's not as strong of a team as they were last year. Fun fact though, which I learned about a couple weeks ago, but haven't really gotten to talk about it because who talks about SMU really? SMU's quarterback coach or assistant quarterback coach, whatever you want to call it, is former Miami Hurricane quarterback Derek King. We had him for about 1, 2 years. From the transfer portal, got drafted to the Patriots, or maybe he went undrafted, and he was playing everything: quarterback, running back, receiver. I know he was on the Patriots mainly. He might have bounced around. He played a season or two in the um, one of those leagues, XFL, USFL, whatever it was called at the time. So good for him. He's coaching job now. So yeah. Then we have not too big of a game in place of rankings, but just a normal rivalry game. Number one, Ohio versus Penn State, unranked Penn State. So Penn State was ranked at the start of the season. Then they started playing teams that actually were pretty decent. Then we started to see true colors, and they start losing. So Ohio's number one. Ohio's gonna have an easy win this week against Penn State, but I do see Ohio State possibly struggling because of it being a rivalry game, huge rivalry game, one of the biggest. So that should be very interesting. Ohio versus Penn State. And we have number 9 Vanderbilt going against number 20 Texas. Daniel Pavia, really really good Heisman candidate. That's Vanderbilt's quarterback. Archie Manning's starting to pick it up. They're still struggling. I don't see them making the playoffs. If they do, good for them. I don't see it happening though. Um, but yeah, Texas is still hanging in there by a thread, and Vanderbilt is, they're making waves in college football right now. They took our spots this week. We were 9, now they're 9, so it was good for them. Um, and I actually really believe in Vanderbilt. I think they're going to be doing really good, and I think that they're going to make the playoffs and possibly go far in them. So it's going to be very interesting to see how Archie Manning plays against that Vanderbilt defense, especially that Vanderbilt O line with that pass rush, great pass rush, and especially with Texas's O line usually always being that's one of their top three things in the program. Their O line, O line, O line. That's Texas football, but this year hasn't really been as strong because you had a couple guys go in the draft, especially what was it, top 15 pick, Kelvin Banks. Wish he went to the Dolphins, but whatever. Um, so yeah, like I said, Texas has been struggling in the O line, and it's going to be interesting to see how Archie Manning really moves around the pocket, tries to escape pressure that he's definitely going to have with the Vanderbilt defense and pass rush, like I said. Um, so yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. Then let's get into NFL recap from last week. We had on Thursday Night Football the Chargers beating. What the hell was that? God, shit. Chargers beating the Vikings 37-10. Thursday Night Football. Listen, I saw something on TikTok the other day, and actually I could see it, but it's gonna show this week with JJ McCarthy playing this week. It's gonna be his third game of the season, third game ever in the NFL regular season. I think it's either second or third, but Carson Wentz, they made Carson Wentz pretty much play through injury. He was injured throughout the entire game. Even at the start of the game, you could see he was 100% injured, but he had some sort of brace on his arm that was helping him a lot. And he ended up getting completely, taken out the game. I think it was the end of the third or start of the fourth, sometime in between there. And they, instead of, putting in JJ McCarthy, who was completely fine, he was jumping up and down on the sideline. There was one clip of, um, it was on defense. The Vikings was tackling a Chargers player, and they went right next to they were rolling right next to his feet, and he had to jump out of the way, and flawless jump, flawless landing for an ankle injury, a very serious ankle injury, and he does that. I don't know, but pretty much what this guy said on TikTok was that they're protecting JJ, and the guy that they brought in the fourth quarter when Carson Wentz was injured, Max Brosmer, I think his name is. He's really better than JJ, but they didn't want to put him in. They want Carson Wentz to stay in as long as he can because they're afraid that if they put this kid in and start him, everyone's going to see that he's better than the guy that they wasted a first round pick on and paid all that money for. So, I mean, that's all speculation, but like I said, we're going to see this week the JJ McCarthy makes his start this week, so it's going to be interesting. But to the game, uh, Chargers played really good, 37-10. Herbo. Let's see. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Dolphins beating the Falcons 34-10. This was upsetting to watch. Not only because, well, number one, I pretty much didn't really get to watch all that much of the game. I was working, but I did watch a good amount of it. But because I have the bet of the Dolphins losing, you would think they'd lose to the Falcons. The Falcons have beaten the Bills, and they beat the Bills and someone else. I forget. Um, they've beaten the Bills, Commanders, Vikings. Yeah, the Bills, Commanders, and Vikings, who are all playoff contending teams. And Bills and Commanders the most because they've been in countless, or not countless, but Bills have been in countless AFC championships over the years. And Commanders have been in, well, last year, insane run. I would know. And the run that they had last year with the NFC Championship that they went to. But yeah, Kirk Cousins was injured, or not Kirk Cousins. Michael Pittman was injured. Michael Penix was injured. Their quarterback, he was injured, so Kirk Cousins played, and then Drake London was injured, so they didn't have their starting quarterback or their starting receiver. But I still figured they'd put out the win. Their defense is one of the best in the league. Um, you have Bijan, top three running back in the league, supposedly. Um, that really didn't do much because Bijan, what do you have? 25, 25 rushing yards. I mean, what the hell is that? Let's pick it up. I mean, I shouldn't be saying this about my own team, but if I make a bet for the Dolphins to lose and they win, I'm going to be pissed. I'm going for the other team if that's the case. And I was. And, karma on me, I guess. Tua, 20 for 26, 205, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. On my parlay, I also bet for Tua to throw an interception. He did not. So, like I said, karma on me, I guess. Achane, 1867, good. Waddle, 5 for 99 and a touchdown. I've said this for probably since either the year we got Tyreek or the year right after we got Tyreek, either 22, 23, one of those 2 years. I said Waddle is overshadowed by Tyreek, and he's not able to be the true wide receiver that he is because Tyreek is getting most of the targets. But now Tyreek is gone, Waddle's getting targets, and he's looking like one of the best receivers in the NFL. I'm just going to say he's looking like one of the best receivers in the NFL. And that's just off of what, maybe through two or 3 weeks without Tyreek there. And that's what's happening. So I just think Tyreek and we don't need him. We're good. Well, oh my God, who was it? Colin Cowherd when uh Ben Simmons got drafted after his first couple games in the league. LeBron, we're good. We don't need you anymore. Ben Simmons is here. He's gonna take over. Pretty much telling LeBron to retire, get out of here, pack his bags, and leave. Ben Simmons is the new king and best in the NBA. And then, well, we've seen how that worked out. Ben Simmons is. I don't even think he's in a starting five lineup in the NBA. He's done absolutely garbage, and well, LeBron is still in the NBA. What was that, like 4 years ago? So, I mean, I don't think that's gonna how it's gonna happen. I don't think Waddle's gonna suck and Tyreek's still gonna be in the league for another 4 years. But I'm just saying, just me saying, Tyreek, we're good. We all need you. Just made me think about that. I don't know. And then Jets got their first win of the season, beating the Bengals 39-38. I saw this. Um, their game winning touchdown was a trick play. You put the you put you put the game in the hands of a running back to throw the ball to a tight end. Your quarterback that you paid all this money for, Justin Fields, to bring him there, and you let him pitch the ball to Brees Hall. Brees Hall runs out of the pocket and throws like a I forget the name, but he throws a pass pretty much like a 5 yard pass to their tight end Mason Taylor, Fort Lauderdale boy, Jason Taylor's son, LSU. So throws the ball to him in double coverage, mind you, and he still catches the ball and they win the game. Pretty much shows how bad the Bengals defense really is, because they are, and pretty much shows what kind of a team that the Jets are to put the game in the hands of a running back to throw the ball to a tight end. So a rookie tight end, mind you. So that was pretty interesting to me. But yeah, Bengals lost. Joe Flacco, what are you doing? Come on. I don't understand the Dolphins and the Jets right now. You guys, both of them, have one of the worst, you know, one of the worst um, records in the NFL. There it is. One of the worst records in the NFL, and you still continue to try and win games. I get it in the Dolphins, where the Dolphins players probably don't. They want to, but at the same time, thinking about the future of the team, they don't want to win. The organization probably doesn't want them to win because they want to get a first round draft pick or a high first round draft pick now, knowing that the team's not going to make the playoffs and that they're going to suck. But as a coach, Mike McDaniel wants the team to win because his job is on the line. So I could see where it comes into play at that. And same for the Jets. First time head coach Aaron Glenn, you know, they were 0-6. They finally won a game. If they didn't win a game, he probably wouldn't get fired, but he'd be on the chopping block for sure. But still, big win for them against the Bengals. Ravens beating the Bears 30-16 with a Tyler Snoop Huntley as their quarterback. He was our backup last year. Pretty much did shit for us, but whatever. Um, Bears. This was their first game this year that they've scored under 20 points in a game, essentially. And the Ravens defense pretty much essentially just showed up finally, and they played. And they haven't been doing good all year. They finally did good this year. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Bills beating the Panthers 40-9. I knew the Bills were gonna win, but I felt like this was sort of a trap game because of how well the Panthers have been doing the past couple weeks, and the Bills have looked really sloppy the past couple weeks. So I was thinking, oh, like everyone's expecting the Bills to win. I put the Bills to win because I knew they were going to win. But I could see them losing based off of how both teams have been playing the past couple weeks. But they didn't, obviously, 40-9. So there goes that. Texans beating the Niners 26-15. Very not surprising. Glad for the Texans. My Houston boys, CJ Stroud, gotta love it. Can't wait for Tank Dell to come back. Can't wait for that team to actually be healthy. I mean, your starting running back is an undrafted free agent and ancient Nick Chubb. So once your team actually gets healthy, you bring back Joe Mixon, bring back Nico Collins, bring back Tank Dell. Your defense gets more healthy. I mean, you have a playoff contending team, a Super Bowl contending team at that. I think what the Texans really need to focus on going into the draft this year is an offensive lineman. Offensive lineman. That's what you need. After losing Laramie Tunsil, the in trade to the Commanders, which I love that move for the Commanders, of course. Their O line has looked really really weak, so glad that the Commanders got their O lineman, but at the same time, one of my I wouldn't say favorite teams, but a team that I like to support sometimes, um, and especially now since Nick Chubb's on the team. Texans they really do need help at O line, so I hope they do focus on that when the draft does come around. Um, Eagles beat the Giants 38-20. Not really much to talk about. There was a couple missed calls in the game. Cam Scadaboo got a really bad injury. He was going on a slant route right out of the pocket and right in the middle of the field. The ball bounced off his hands, and the linebackers still tried to tackle him, and he landed really weird to where his ankle was under the linebacker, and it sort of snapped in half. So his ankle was pretty much dangling by the end of the play, and he's out for the rest of the year. So that's sad for him, especially being a rookie. So like I said, that's sad for him. But the Eagles won. Was it 38-20? So Patriots. Drake May is MVP. 32-13. If Drake May, not even if the Patriots don't even have to do that good, but if Drake May stays and plays how he's been playing, he's gonna win MVP. He's going to. So good on the Patriots. Not really much to talk about. Dylan Gabriel played pretty mid. Just waiting for the time. They put Shador in. Talk about perfect timing. So waiting for that to happen. Buccaneers beat the Saints 23-3. I forget if this was the Tyler Shug game. Okay, so yeah, it was. Spencer Rattler first played 15. He had 15, 21, 136, and an interception. Then midway through the game, they put Tyler Shug in, or Shuck, however you pronounce it. He went 17 for 30, 128, and an interception. Both threw an interception. I don't think this guy's any good, but they wanted to try him out because he hasn't played in a regular season game yet. I personally think Spencer Rattler is a pretty decent quarterback and could be a starter on a team. He just doesn't have a good team around him to, actually have the opportunity to win games. So I don't think it's really fair for people to say that he sucks and stuff. But I hope that they get rid of him and he can actually prove himself on a different team, a better team, and prove everyone wrong. Colts continuing the Linsanity run, if that's even what you want to call it anymore. I mean, Joshua Dobbs was a Linsanity run, but this might actually be just the truth with the Colts and Daniel Jones. Jonathan Taylor is looking like he might be the first running back since Adrian Peterson to win MVP. Actually, no, the first non-quarterback to win MVP since Adrian Peterson. Should have been Saquon last year, wasn't, and Jonathan Taylor's looking like it might be him, and Daniel Jones is, what do you call it? Daniel Jones is looking like Offensive Player of the Year in my opinion. He's looking really, really good right now. Well, not even right now, just this entire year, and it's just crazy what he's been able to do. Because no one thought that was gonna happen. Cam Ward, 22 for 38, 259, touchdown, interception. He's just slinging it at this point. He's slinging it. There's nothing else that he can do. He has no line, no receivers, barely any running backs, and the defense sucks. So, I mean, I don't know. It's him and Spencer Rattler are pretty much on the same thing. I think Cam Ward has a lot more talent than Spencer Rattler, but I think they're in the same category as what I was saying about Rattler is that they're on a bad team and you're judging them for how the team is doing and not their own personal game. They're trying the best that they can on the team that they're on. The team just sucks. They don't. The team does. So, that's how I feel about that. Too much hate on Cam Ward, especially from Titans fans. A lot of Titans fans are calling for his head, but that's with every quarterback that doesn't do up to par on teams nowadays. Um, Broncos 44-24 against the Cowboys. Javonte Williams had a comeback, not a comeback game, a revenge game. Scored 2 touchdowns. Wasn't really a revenge game because they didn't win, but still showing his old team that they never should have gotten rid of him, and which I believe because I always thought that, like I said last week, that Javonte Williams was really good, and Broncos never gave him a fair chance. So I thought it was going to be a really good game last week to be able to prove himself, and he did as good as he could of 2 touchdowns against them. Patrick Surtain went out with an injury at some point during the game. I think he did make a return. I don't think it was anything serious. I think it was just like just some like a strain or something. Like nothing too serious. He stretched it out. I think he came back, or maybe he didn't. But like I said, nothing serious. That's gonna put him out of action for more than a week, if that. So it's good on him. Cortland Sutton. Troy Franklin had a career game. Let me see how many yards Troy Franklin had because he went insane. 6 for 89, 2 touchdowns. Insane. He had like 2 insane catches, one of them being a touchdown. So good on him. Packers beating the Steelers 35-25. That was the Aaron Rodgers Bowl. The Aaron Rodgers Bowl. And, Jordan Love really showed out. The Packers did really good. Steelers were eh. The Packers defense, what was it? How many sacks did they have? 3 sacks. That's what it was. Oh, speaking of sacks, I forgot to mention. Myles Garrett 5 sacks on the day. On Drake May, and he pretty much put Will Campbell in his place. He had hands in his face all game. I think there should have been a couple penalties, but that's just me. Um, but yeah, Myles Garrett 5 sacks. Then he started to get mad when the Browns were sucking. Sir, you're the one that took the money over winning games. You took money from the Browns to stay on the Browns, but you got the money that you wanted to get. But now you're complaining that you're not winning the games, even though you just had a career game and 5 sacks. So pick a struggle. You either want to make money or you want to win games. This At this day and age, if you're on the Browns, you're not gonna do either. You're not gonna do both. You're gonna do one or the other, and it's probably gonna be making money because the Browns suck. So you're not winning any games. So Myles Garrett, you're just stupid. Which I've always said he's just a case. With whatever team he goes to, he's been on the Browns his entire career, but he's just always been a head case for him. Commanders losing to the Chiefs in Monday Night Football. Not too happy about. It was 28-7. The first half was actually really really even, and then it was sort of the same thing with the Hurricanes. Chiefs came right out of halftime and started scoring. Rashee Rice, it was his first or second game back since the suspension. Um, Marcus Mariota sucks. Marshawn Lattimore still sucks, but he got an interception. Bobby Wagner, not even gonna. If you know, you know. Bobby Wagner got an interception, but there's a inside joke behind Bobby Wagner. If you know, you know. Terry McLaurin, first game back from being out for like 2 or 3 weeks. Oh my god, my god. When I took nuts, he had He's the best contested catch in the league. He's the new Larry Fitzgerald. He probably has one of the best hands in the league, if not the best. Uh, Caught an insane pass, guys, 2 feet in, which at first I didn't call a touchdown, and if they still didn't call it a touchdown, I would have gone there personally, and done something to the refs, and then so they ended up giving him the touchdown, and then later in the game, Mariota bag ball, um, and Terry was full on covered, no chance of him catching the ball, dove forward and caught it over the guy's head, and it landed in his arms perfectly. It was insane. Terrible throw, but Terry McLaurin's just him and caught the ball. And then I need to find a picture of him catching the ball because right in literally in the background, he's catching the ball here, and Bobby Wagner's literally on the sideline, like 8 yards away from him. Like, so I need that because those are two of my favorite players of all time, and in the same picture. And it's so like I just found it cool that that happened, and I was watching it live, and I was like, oh shit, like, um, Mahomes sucks still. So yeah, screw the Chiefs. Um, but let's get into predictions here after rambling on about all that. Let's get into predictions. Predictions. Ravens, Dolphins, Thursday Night Football. Please, for the love of God, Ravens win. Lamar Jackson. This is Lamar Jackson's return game. This is gonna be his first game back. This week. So good for him. Good for him. Falcons, Patriots. Give me Patriots. Even though Patriots are a division rival, I'm low key kind of happy they're doing good. I'm high on Drake May. I think everyone's high on Drake May. Even the bandwagons are high on Drake May. I don't know why UNC's just kind of like UNC, Baylor, a couple other teams or a couple other colleges. I always like them for some reason. I think UNC and Baylor is because of the colors. Um, well, actually, Baylor was because of Sean Oakman. Once again, if you know, you know. You know Sean Oakman. And then UNC, I forget if there was a specific player, it's just because I like the color of the blue. But I think it was just because I like the color blue, that specific color blue. I just always liked UNC, so I like Drake May, Javonte Williams, like I said. Um, so yeah, um, but now everyone's bandwagon on him, so whatever. Chargers, Titans, Chargers. No really discussion there. It's home at Tennessee, so maybe Titans could pull off the upset. Uh, Bears, Bengals in Cincinnati. I'm still gonna pick the Bears at this point. Cincinnati just there. I don't even know what to say about them. Colts, Steelers, Colts. Gotta give it to the Colts, even though they're away. Uh, 49ers, Giants. Give me 49ers. Broncos, Texans. Where's that? It's in Houston. Give me. I wonder if Nico Collins is back this week. I think he might be back this week. I may, I may, I may. I want the Texans to win, but I'm gonna go Broncos. I'm gonna go Broncos. I just something about it screaming Broncos. I don't know why. Division rival game. Vikings Lions. What am I thinking about Lions? Especially if JJ McCarthy's playing, I don't think he's that good. Lions. Panthers, Packers. I think Packers is gonna win, but I won't be surprised if the Lions won, because this also seems like a trap game. Jaguars, Raiders. It's battle of who could choke more. Um, that's what she said. Let me go Jags. I think every week I'm just gonna pick. Yeah, like I do with the Dolphins, every week I'll just pick the opposite of whoever the Raiders are going against because the Raiders just absolutely suck. Saints, Rams. Rams. I don't even know why I had to think about that. Just had to comprehend what I was talking about. Chiefs, Bills. Ooh, that's a 4:25 game. That's not even Sunday Night Football. No prime time. It's just a game. Me, it's home. Me, the Bills. It's home in Buffalo. Hopefully they could get the win. Um, Sunday Night Football. Commanders, Seahawks. Hopefully Jaden Daniels is back. Let me see. I'm gonna just pick the. Yeah. Oh no, no, no. It matters. It matters. I was just gonna say I might just pick the Seahawks, but if JD is back, I'm gonna pick the Commanders. Hold on. Schefter. Where is this at? God, where is the post at? I don't know where it's at. He posted quarterback returns this week. And Lamar Jackson was on the list. I didn't, look for anyone else. Lamar Jackson, JJ McCarthy, hold on. God. Okay. Lamar, JJ McCarthy, and Kyler Murray. Oh, so no JD. Let me check. Yeah, expect. Yeah. Let me see. Um. Mm, it's not looking like he's gonna play. I'm gonna choose the Seahawks just because of the fact that Jaden Daniels isn't gonna play. Cause can't trust Mariota to do shit. I guess. What's the point of having you on the team if you're not even serviceable? He's barely serviceable. Uh, Cardinals, Cowboys. Give me the Cowboys. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is actually going to have a huge game. Surprisingly, I think he's going to have a huge game. I don't know. I'm just predicting it. Yeah. I'll if I bet this week, I'll bet over on him. Let's see. Let's go to fantasy. Start off with fantasy. Um, now I'm pulling it up. Um, just reading some. Oh, now for fantasy. Let's see. Um, fantasy recap of for last week. Let's see. Baker Mayfield 4.38. You suck. Quinshawn Jenkins 4.7. You suck. Vikings defense -2. You suck. Everyone else played pretty good. My player of the week, someone I already talked about, who I said had a huge game, Rashi Rice. 25.5 points in fantasy, 9 receptions, 93 yards, and touchdown. Still was not able to get the win, but because of Baker, but we tried. Jared Goff's gonna be my starter this week. Him and Jameer Gibbs, I'm putting them back in the lineup finally. So My starting lineup this week will be Jared Goff, Jameer Gibbs, Javonte Williams, Roma Dunze, um, yeah, Rashi Rice, um, Evan Ingram, and I'll probably switch out Chris Olave for Wandale Robinson. Um, especially since Scadaboo's injured, they're going to be targeting the pass heavy, I believe. So let me see. Who are the Giants playing this week? Giants are playing the 49ers. Oh, 49ers defense is really good. I'll still put Wandale in the lineup. Now going into hockey, um, for fantasy at least. Let's see. Um, Last game we had. I'm still undefeated in fantasy. I beat Dale 149 to 91. My top performer of the week was Mikhail Sergachev, 15.8 points. And his top player was McDavid with 8.9, and then second would be Pasternak, 8.8, 1 point off. But yeah, I beat him 149 to 91. And currently this week, losing 52 to 38. Still a really close game early into the week. This is a Wednesday, so yeah, should be good. Um, I did end up. I picked someone up. Who did I pick up the other day? Um, I believe. Oh, Matthew Nyes. I picked up Matthew Nyes the other day. And I dropped. I forget who else I dropped. I dropped someone, and I picked up Matthew Nyes. So that was um a big pickup for me because someone else had dropped him. So it's that. Um, and then for NHL update, you had Panthers last night losing, or last night of recording this is going out on Thursday, but Tuesday night losing to the Ducks in a shootout. Um, that was tied 2-2, and then the shootout 3-2. And then Ducks won in the first round of the shootout, 2-1. So it didn't mark up as a loss, but went in as an overtime loss. So our current record's 5-5-1. Um, and we're still struggling. We have a bunch of players out, so you can't really blame it on the team. It's just the team played as good as they could have. It's just a lot of injuries are killing us. Everyone in the NHL knows if our team was healthy, we'd be at the top of the league. Like we're doing just as good. We're doing just as good as other teams and doing better than some teams or a lot of teams. We're doing better than a lot of teams and just as good as the top teams. But without our key players, we're not winning as much games. So 5-5-1. But as our what is it? Kind of like review of each conference right now. The East is looking pretty close for the East Division or the East Conference when it comes to top 8 teams in the conference, because the top 8 go to the playoffs. New Jersey's 8-2. Pittsburgh Penguins is 7-2-2. Montreal is 8-3. Detroit is 7-3. Carolina is 6-3. Washington is 6-4, and Ovechkin is 1 goal away from 900 goals. So good for him. He's at 899. Philly is 5-3-1. Toronto is 5-4-1. And Panthers are first out of the playoffs. They're number 9, and they're 5-5-1. And then for the Western Conference, the top 8 teams are surprisingly Utah, is 8-3. So I don't think anyone was expecting Utah to be first in Western Conference. Colorado is 8-1-4. Vegas Golden Knights is 6-1-3. Winnipeg is 7-3. Dallas is 6-3-1. Seattle is 5-2-3. LA is 5-3-3, and Chicago is 5-3-2. That's the top eight for the Western Conference. Um, you know, good to see Chicago's in there. With Bedard and everything. Um, and then back on the Eastern Conference, Detroit. PK, Alex Saberngate. Let me see. Pittsburgh, Sidney Crosby, Evgeny Malkin. They're really pushing it this year because this is most likely Malkin's last year and might be Crosby's last year because you I see this being the last year for a lot of players in the league because they wanted to get their last Olympics out of the way. This year they're doing the Olympics, and they're not going to be around for the next one. So I see this being a lot. This year being the end of a lot of players' careers. We already see Anze Kopitar's gone. Ovechkin's most likely going to retire after this year. I see Malkin retiring. I see Sid retiring. I see a lot of guys retiring. So it's gonna be interesting to see after this year. Um, and the Panthers, like I said, let me see who they got coming up. But like I said, yeah, they're playing the best that they can with the team that they have right now. Um, they don't have the game. They don't have a game until uh oh they they don't have a game until November 1st, which is Saturday, against Dallas. So that's gonna be a pretty hard game. Dallas just signed Thomas Harley to a really big contract, so good for him. A lot of players, you're gonna see a lot of players start to get contract extensions. Um, then we play the Ducks again away in Anaheim. Um, and then normal schedule. I'm not going to go down for the rest of November. Let's see if there's a game November. There's no game November 9th because it's a Sunday. My birthday's November 9th, but they do have a game November 8th against the Sharks and November 10th against the Golden Knights. That's their Carolina tour because they got Anaheim, LA, San Jose, and Vegas. All the I say Carolina, California teams. So they every team does that. It's like the Canada tour or the New York tour. New York, New Jersey. You get New York Rangers, New Jersey, Buffalo Sabres, Canada, Montreal, Toronto, Vancouver, Winnipeg, knockout teams like that. Then in California, you get team Ducks, Kings, Sharks, Vegas. Come down to Florida, you get us, Tampa. You'll probably play Carolina. Um, yeah, you'll probably play Carolina. Just teams around that. When you're doing the New York run, you might play Philly as well. So just interesting to see like that. But that's pretty much it for the podcast. Hopefully next week we're back in the room. Actually, next week we 100% will be back in the room. And hopefully Dale will be here. Hopefully we actually do separate podcasts this time and do our Monday hockey one and our Thursday football one, instead of combining it. But like I said, it's always going to be shorter when it's just one person because it's not back and forth. It's just one person talking the entire time. So last episode was, I think, some like 58. This one is probably gonna hit 50 if it will. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this week's podcast. We will be posting. I'll be putting out clips this week. I haven't done it the past 2 weeks. It's been really busy the past couple of weeks with a lot of different things. But this week I will put clips out from this podcast. So yeah, look out for that. But yeah, like, comment, share, subscribe, follow us on all platforms. You're watching this on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and yeah. Stay classy, America.